To the Chicago Bulls trading Alex Caruso for Josh Giddey, making half sense. Making half sense. And here's why. And this is why Chicago Bulls fans, looking at it from the outside as a person that's looking at this team that should rebuild, and this is a part of that, right? Josh Giddey's a young guy. I believe he's only 21 years old. He's in the second or third year in the league, and you trade him for Alex Caruso. Josh Giddey, who just got played off the floor in the playoffs. I understand why people will look at that and be like, why are we trading for this guy? But he is able to score. He just doesn't, he's not able to shoot. He lost his confidence in his game a little bit last season. But overall, he can pass. He can score a little bit. Defensively is not his forte. He can say he's kind of like Ben Simmons without the defense, but he at least has the scoring prowess that he has there. Let's try to just build on that as a Chicago Bulls team who's looking to hopefully rebuild. But in order to rebuild, the one thing that you got to do as a Chicago Bulls is get fucking picks. That's the one thing in this trade that doesn't make any sense. And this is why teams like Chicago, Indiana for a long time before recently, Detroit, Toronto, Orlando for a long time before they started getting Paolo and Franz and stuff like that, why these teams are stuck in purgatory and being mid. Being mid in the NBA is not good. It's not good. Let's be honest. Being mid in the NBA, Chicago Bulls have been mid for probably since Derrick Rose was there. I know they had that little flirtation there with Lonzo Ball and Alex Caruso in the backcourt. Unfortunately, Lonzo got hurt, and they were number one seed at that point, and they went downhill. But ever since then, they have been making moves that just don't make any sense. And trading 2 first rounds for Vucevic. Extending Zach LaVine, potentially right now extending DeMar DeRozan. These moves have shown that there is no progression. You're still a playing team. And not getting any picks in this trade for Alex Caruso, who you should at least try to get 2 first-round picks for. They end up getting no picks. Now, for Chicago, they can be looking at Josh Giddey and saying, hey, this is our draft pick. We know what this guy is. We know what he can potentially be. Let's build on that. And for OKC, who missed on the Gordon Hayward trade, Sam Presti did say that, acknowledged that was a miss and that just didn't work out. Maybe this trade should have happened before the trade deadline because Alex Caruso was available. OKC definitely needed to make some improvements, especially on the front line. They were probably searching for the big and didn't get it. So they thought, get it forward. Alex Caruso can do what Gordon Hayward does at a better level and shoot the ball. I believe he was 4th in three-point shooting this year. So looking at it from that standpoint, that works out great for OKC now because now they can sign an extension. I believe it's 4 years, $80 million for Alex Caruso, which works good. He fits that role there. He's going to fit like a glove in OKC. And now as for Chicago, did you even ask for picks? Did you ask for picks? Because that's the one thing that they desperately needed. Especially a team that traded 2 first-round picks for Vucevic, who ended up being Franz Wagner in the draft, who they could have desperately needed in Chicago. But ultimately, in asset retention, asset claiming in trades and stuff like that, despite getting Josh Giddey for nothing, for Alex Caruso, why didn't you get any picks? You didn't ask for any picks, at least 1 first-rounder in this trade. Alex Caruso is a commodity around the league. A point guard who can in ball handle and create, a point guard that can shoot, a point guard that can defend in this league, all-NBA defensive team. Why wouldn't you get some picks for him, which helps your team move forward? Whatever sign-in trade you're getting with Zach LaVine that you're trying to explore, who's coming off an ACL injury, what are you going to get for him? DeMar DeRozan, who instantly should be a sign and trade. They have Kobe White. you get Josh Giddey, and you get your picks, and you start the rebuild. But these teams here like to just try to make the playoffs and be a play-in team and make home revenue money. Okay, cool. And then you get eliminated, and then you don't win. It's being stuck in mediocrity for the Chicago Bulls, and that's what they're going to continue to do. Lonzo Ball is upright. off his surgery knee and stuff like that. But ultimately, what are you doing with that? You just signed Zach LaVine, who you're already looking to trade, which seems to be the move in the NBA when you want to move on from a superstar and you make a trade. You sign him and you make a trade. Hopefully you get some picks for him. Hopefully no one's afraid of that contract. Hopefully someone like Philadelphia takes a swing on that. Maybe Miami. You try to get somebody to do that. DeMar DeRozan, you sign for an extension for 3 to 4 years and try to flip him. Nikola Vucevic is on the team. Kobe White just signed an extension. What works for them? Ayo Dumaso, who's also a backup point guard, I think is pretty good. Outside of that, who is on this team that is making any noise for you guys? Patrick Williams was a bust. Patrick Williams has not panned out. I don't know how many eggs are in that basket or whatever there is, and what's the future of him. He's up for a contract extension. I don't think they're going to do that. But Chicago just stays in mediocrity. And it's moves like this for franchises that just don't make no sense. Now, is Josh Giddey going to be good for Chicago? I believe so, because having Kobe White there, having Josh Giddey there, having multiple creators, we just saw with Dallas, we just saw with Boston. You want to have guys that can have creation on that side of the floor to maximize your offense. Obviously, they're going to have to add some shooting, get a little bit more modernized. But Chicago, you already fucked up. You didn't get any draft picks. That's the number one thing, especially with OKC, who has like 36 over the next 5 drafts. Like, that's the thing for me. Like, OKC has at least 39 picks over the next 5 drafts. And you didn't get one? Not one? Not one draft pick in this trade. And this is the thing that is just like, okay, like, don't sit there and tell me that Alex Caruso, especially with this weak draft that's coming up, you guys couldn't get multiple picks. And guys, I don't know. I don't know what Chicago's doing. Hopefully they're not trying to re-sign DeMar DeRozan and bring him back. Hopefully they're not trying to keep Zach LaVine. This should be every indication that you guys should move on. Having Josh Giddey, Kobe White, having multiple picks would have been a better situation. But it is what it is, man. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing. But Chicago, I feel sorry for Chicago Bulls fans, especially holding on to Alex Caruso, expecting to get so many so much attention in terms of what you guys are going to get. He's a sought-out commodity, a guy that can fit any team realistically, and you guys just get Josh Giddey. Okay. Okay. I guess that's what you guys want to do. But moving on, let's move